Hi guys, and welcome back to another show. How is everybody? I hope everyone's doing well. This is the 300 subscriber special, guys. Hope everyone's doing really well and enjoying the sunny weather that we're having up and down the country at the moment, wherever you are, guys. It's been really nice where I am at this moment in time. Weather's good, sun's out, everyone feels a little bit better. Got some things to talk about today. I will have Connor from the COP Council joining me shortly. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about today, guys. I just want to say thank you, first of all. Just a little bit from me to you guys. First of all, guys, I want to say a big thank you for getting me to 300 subs. Obviously, I'd like to thank. There's a lot of you to thank, but you know, when you come into the chat later on today, guys, into this video, I will be shouting you guys out, especially the ones that have been helping me on my journey so far. I appreciate all of you, and guys, I'm really looking forward to this video today. So yeah, don't forget to please subscribe to the video if you've not. Please give it a like, all the good stuff, guys. Give the video a lovely like, guys. But yeah, I appreciate all of you guys helping me on this journey so far. Every single one of you I really appreciate, so thank you very much. And big up Ali. How you doing, Ali? One of my regulars. Ali, thanks for coming in, mate. Again, I would like to say thank you to Ali as well for, you know, always being here as well. And the Niche Boy, woo! Savage Reactions, how are you, my man? I hope you're good. Hope everyone's doing well today. Yes, this is going to be a little video from me to you guys. I'm going to be joined soon by Connor from the COP Council as well. We're going to go through a few topics today, guys. There's a few things I want to talk about. We're going to be listing the Liverpool squad. So basically, the first team that started this season, we're going to be listing them from world class to Adrian, basically, in a tier listing. We're going to be looking at the best free agents this summer. And if there's anyone there, you know, maybe we should be looking at, Liverpool fans should be looking at. Team of the season so far, we're going to go through that. What you think the team of the season in the Premier League is so far. And then there's one thing we have to talk about. I don't really want to talk about it, but I think we should. I think we should talk about it, and that is Mo Salah's contract, guys. And I've got my teeth in. That's better. Mo Salah's contract, guys. We have got to talk about that because there is some big news coming out, especially with Juventus right now. There's a lot of news about Juventus trying to offer Mo Salah a massive deal, 10 million euros a year deal that apparently Mo Salah is very interested in. So now there's rumours that at this moment in time that he wants to talk to Juventus, that he's going to get back to Juventus soon after the international break, and he's acknowledged that he's even spoke to him. So there's quite a bit to talk about, guys, but we're going to get my guest on right now. Connor, how are you, my man?
I'm doing very good, thank you, mate. Thank you for inviting us on.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome, fella. You're welcome. Yeah, so I was just saying to the guys, big thank you to everyone helping me get to the 300 subs, including yourself, Connor. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it all the help.
It's no problem, mate. The first 100's always the hardest, and then like it just grows and grows and grows.
Just grows. Yeah, exactly. I was just saying what we're going to be looking through today. So we're going to be doing a tier squad, tier listing of the Liverpool squad so far, from world class to Adrian. That's how I've tiered it.
Adrian.
And then we go. Yeah, exactly. Then we go look at the best free transfers game apparently this summer. See, is there any there we might be interested in? Team of the season so far. Have a little discussion about that. And unfortunately, talking about Salah's contract, because there has been a lot of news lately, especially with one Juventus. But yeah, big up to everyone in chat. Cal, Ali, Nature Boy, aka Savage Reactions. Good evening, Chris. Saw your video earlier, my man. Hope you're doing well. There is a score of fault. You start with the worst. You do, mate. You do. So let's get this show underway, guys. We're going to talk. We're going to list the Liverpool squad first. So I'm going to share the screen. This should be a bit of fun. We'll get to the depressing stuff about Salah later.
That's the back end of the show, just the depressing part.
Just jump that in at the end. So let's put this up here. Hopefully everyone can see. So this is the team that basically started the season before. So there's no Diaz in this team. So we're just going to put Diaz in this list when we finish where we're going to put him, because I couldn't find Diaz's picture anywhere for this list. So this is players that have probably gone out on loan already and stuff like that, but we can still put them in this list because there is a would like but need to sell right there. I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger because, you know, I'm 40 now, my eyes are not great.
Sorry, mate. Everyone's getting it. Like, even me, I'm like,
So as you can see, we go world class, great player, good player, decent. Would sell, but I love them. Bin, and then Adrian. That's that's the list. There we've got the players. So we've got Ali, Gallagher, the man himself, Curtis, Jota, Origi, Kante, Milner, Gomez, Matip, the whole team basically, most of the squad. Obviously, I think Diaz was the only one I couldn't actually find to get on here. So yeah, it was hard enough doing this. So finding Diaz, got like Nate Phillips and all that there, but that's why I've put this would sell, but love them a bit there. So Connor, starting from goalkeepers, we'll start with Alisson.
There's only one place for him in it, and that's Adrian, right?
That's Adrian, right there.
No, I get it. World class, obviously.
World class, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. I mean, talking of Alisson, we all talk about goalkeepers, who's the best. Oblak's gone through a difficult season apparently this year. What I'm hearing of people that, you know, watch him. You got Mendy in the Premier League. He looks absolutely fantastic. De Gea, he's been doing okay for Man United. I mean, if it weren't for him, Man United might be ninth in the league, to be fair. Ederson's always a shout. Where would you rank Alisson in the world's best?
For me, it's between Ali and Mendy for the best. But I think the one thing that puts Alisson over Mendy is distribution. Yeah. I don't think Mendy's a good, you know, shot stopper, but he's not that one that can, like, you know, like, who was it against? It was against Norwich, you know, Mo's goal, where Ali just, you know, punts up the field, Mo gets it, scores. I don't think Mendy can do that.
No.
So for me, he is the best in the world. I think another one as well, Manuel Neuer as well. He's since probably 2-3 years ago has re-emerged his career, I would say.
Totally.
But yeah, for me, I would say Ali is certainly up there. But for me, the best in the world at the minute.
Yeah. I mean, I love Alisson. His distribution is getting better. His one-on-ones. It's his one-on-ones, I think, are so underrated. It's so hard to beat him on one-on-ones. Yeah, I'd say he's up there. I do like Mendy low. I think even Mendy has said his distribution is not at the likes of your Edersons and Salah's. So, yeah, I do agree with you there. John in the house. Big up, guys. Hope you both well. Doing good, John. Well class for Ali. Yes. Where's the NH Hospital bed model tier? Yeah, I was thinking of putting NHS in there as a thing, just for the crack for some of the players in our team. But yeah, I thought I don't want to be too unfair. I don't want to be world class nature boy. He's the best in the world. He has better distribution. Yeah, exactly. He also has 1 goal. Exactly. And Edward, how are you, man? Hope you're doing good, Edward. Hope you're doing good, my man. So let's get to the rest of these now, because there's someone here that can be a bit fun. Kelleher. This is an interesting one. So you got world, great, good, decent, would sell, but love him, Bin and Adrian.
I put him. He'd be in between decent and good player.
Yeah,
because I think more so good player because of the cup final win. But the early foundations of what we've seen of Gallagher seem to be good. Of course, there's still plenty of improvement there. Still time for him to develop, but again, it's this thing where he's developing under, as we've just spoken about, the best in the world in Ali Becker. Of course, it'll be tremendous training wise, but is Gallagher going to get in front of Alisson? You'd think not. So yeah, I take good player for me personally. I think potential loan move as well next season, but I don't think so. I like him as the Liverpool's number 2 because I think, we'll speak about Adrian in a little bit, but when we've had, of course, backup keepers, we've always been nervous and crapping ourselves whenever Ali is missing. But for Gallagher, I think all of us are pretty much calm about it. So yeah, decent player for me.
Yeah. I like Gallagher. He's a decent backup number 2. I mean, he's training under, as you say, probably one of the best goalkeepers in world football. So he's having, and I think he's got Taffarel as a goalkeeper coach now, John Eichenberg. He's got good goalkeeping coaches at the club as well. So for Kelleher's development, he's in the best place possible for him. But way I look at Gallagher as well, if he came in goal for a few weeks, I wouldn't be worried. I'd trust him, and he got us all the way to the league. He helped us win the League Cup. So yeah, he's a very good goalkeeper for me. And I think in a few years' time, we're going to find it hard to keep hold of him as a number 2. because I think he'll want to be that. He'll want to be a number 1. Just get some of the comments here, Edward. Oh, this is an interesting idea. Thank you, Edward. I do try. Good player, says Nature Boy. John, good player. Good. Chris, I agree with your pick so far. Keywords so far. Chris coming with violence. Agrees in between the top rung of decent and lower rung of good. Yeah, great. And Tom in the house. Oh, Jamie, well done. Also, Connor's a lizard. That's a bit hard.
I'm still on Tom's bad list for bad mouthing Everton the other week.
That was yesterday, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're not in his good books.
No.
So,
hi, Tom.
I'm just going to put Adrian in his own category right there. We can just go past that. This is going to be an interesting one. Curtis Jones.
I'd say good player again.
Yeah.
But for there's always something about Curtis. I love Curtis Jones. And again, he's in between that decent and good player. I'd personally put him in good player because I think he has plenty of time to develop and gain footballing knowledge. But for me, I don't know what it is about his playing style. He always takes that extra touch at the minute where you would think he would on a counter-attack example, you'll make one good touch, take another touch, and then play the pass. And I'm like, just play it second touch, and it's going. But I think a good player, but I think many people will be divided on this between decent and good player.
Yeah, I agree. It's a difficult one to call. Nature Boy, Adrian, great guy, but not Liverpool Prem level anymore. Just put him in Adrian. I don't want to diss him too much. No, Adrian as a person seems like a great fella to have around. I think that's why Liverpool keep him around. Not really for his goalkeeping, just for maybe his personality. Because he does seem to be a decent bloke. I just love the fact he hired out a whole stadium to show off his medals. I mean, that's. I think.
Don't worry, if you go back on my Twitter, I said he was potentially one of Liverpool's best backup keepers in history. So, and that was just after I think we beat. I can't remember, we beat 2-1 and he made like an outrageous save, and I put that tweet out and people just remind me constantly that I made that tweet.
That's it. Once you make one tweet, that's it. Everyone remembers. Evening stat man, hope you're doing well. Just popped me in my son's football training at the moment. No worries, fella. Have a good time. Putting Adrian in his own category with Steve, that's a good thing. Good player for for Jones. Jones needs to develop. Oh, yes, he does. Big up Steve. Big up John. I'd say he needs consistent runs of minutes to prove he is really a good player, and to do so at consistent level, I think decent is fair. All good, Charles. His development has been under Liverpool's most stressful time, which was last season. Without the injuries we had, he would have been used. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, he would have been used more. That is very true. That is very true. So let's keep going, guys. Guys, after we finish, if you want to move any of them around, we can move some about. Right, Jota.
Great player.
Great, straight in. Great.
He has the potential to be world class, I think.
Yeah,
but
totally.
At the minute, well, to be fair, he's the best Portuguese player in the Premier League.
Certainly is.
But yeah, we robbed Wolves. But again, and yeah, I should say he's our number 20. I love him. I think one of those special signings. And for me, yeah, like I agree with all the chat. Great signing, great player.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. What was your first, when you heard we were bidding and we were going to make that transfer for Diogo Jota, what was your original first thoughts?
Well, I remember, we were doing a video on him. I think me and Jack was doing something on Ismail Assar, and that was hello day up as well, by the way. And we were like, Liverpool obviously been linked with Assar for I think 3 or 4 months, and then all out of the blue, signed Thiago within about 5 hours of signing Thiago. It was like, oh yeah, Liverpool are going after Diogo Jota, and you're like, what? Like, this doesn't fit what's been rumored. And then you look into the stats and you look into everything, and you go, you know what? Liverpool have actually done decent year again. And then when you looked at the price tag, I was at first a bit like 41 mil. It's a bit expensive, but then I've thought that about Virgil van Dijk to begin with, and look how that turned out. So I was excited by it, but then what he's gone on to do since he signed has been unbelievable. And now he's probably worth double what we paid for him at the minute.
Oh, easily, yeah, he's an easy £80 million player now. 1963 date, nice to have you in. Hope you're doing well. Good evening to you, Chris. That would sell, but love him. Tears like loving Michelle Keegan, but still not good enough for your standards. Face plant. Yeah, I have high standards, Chris. Great player. His potential seems endless. He needs fine tuning though. But right now, if he plays crap, he still contributes with a goal. I was a massive fan of him at Wolves, along with Podence and Neto. Yeah, Neto's a player. Great player for Jota. Michelle Keegan is a national treasure, should be protected. Oh, God.
God's sake, chat.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious, Savage. That is hilarious. But yeah, Jota, what a player. I mean, what's he got? 15 goals in all competitions, something like that this season. He's just...
I think he's up to 19 now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's just ridiculously good. He's such a good footballer. Such a good footballer. Yes, he can be a bit frustrating at times, when the ball bounces off him and he loses control and stuff like that.
Well, it's like that, isn't it? It's like the Arsenal game. The Arsenal game, he was so frustrating. And then he just turned around and scores.
Yeah, exactly. He went straight, and he still went straight off and didn't moan about it either. Yeah. Unlike a certain Oxlade-Chamberlain.
We'll get onto that.
Remember Wolves fans saying thanks for the money? I do. I also remember Man United fans saying Chris Smalling was worth more than Van Dijk when we bought him from Southampton. There you go. Football knowledge of some supporters, eh? Right. Divock Origi, who is probably leaving, let's face it. He's looks like he's going to AC Milan, but Divock Origi's career in general, let's do it like that. Liverpool career in general.
Oh, if we're going general, then, world class. Like, but just career. There should be a different, what's the name here? They should just be like their own category for cult hero.
Yeah, cult hero.
That's what, he definitely goes into that bracket.
Would sell, but love him. Should we put him there?
I put him decent.
Decent?
Yeah.
For his career, look, what he's given us, can't be taken away. Let's face it. He's, won us the Champions League, for goodness sake. The semi-final, the final, the big games, the game against Newcastle and going for the league, the game against Everton. The man's just a cult hero for Liverpool Football Club. What he does for the city of Liverpool as well, the money he's put in towards the university, is it, and all that sort of stuff. Look, the man loves the city. He's going to be moving on. We can do better than Divock, but it's hard not to love the guy, isn't it? It's just hard not to love the guy. So his whole Liverpool career, let's give him a decent. If I put him in world class, I might get abused.
Hey, just for his honest to God, if you put his Champions League highlights into and go and show it to Newcastle, £100 million quite easily, just off of that. So even if he was world class, I don't think anyone could argue it for his Liverpool career. The problem is that I have is still reminding myself of last year against Burnley, where he battered one against the post.
And then one-on-one. With his one-on-one.
And I was like, why have you done that? But honestly, the career
he's usually a decent finisher as well. I will say that about him. He's not a bad finisher. He does score some worldies as well, doesn't he? Remember that one against Everton when he took it over his shoulder, dinked it over the keeper and just put it in? I mean, it's just a beautiful goal. John, great player just for the goal against Everton alone. There you go. How did Christopher, are you, my man? Watching whilst at the gym. What else would you do? You know what I mean? Look, I ain't been to the gym for years. I don't even know what one of them look like anymore. Would sell. Well, we can't in general. Decent. Good play for Origi next. Decent. Right pick, actually. Origi, cult hero forever. I hope can have a contribution this season before he leaves. Have a good send-off. Can you imagine if he gets the winning goal, wins us the league? And his last...
Jesus Christ.
In his last ever season. That'd be it. Statue.
the thing is, there's so many theories that what could happen. And it's it's just it's brilliant to see, but it's also crap, what happens if none of these theories work? And it's we just don't win the title.
Yeah, I know. It's I agree with you there, my man. Right, new boy, Kante.
Ooh. I'd say good player.
Yeah, I agree.
For now.
I agree. He's got some flaws to his game, like his ball watching and stuff like that. But he's such a young bloke. He's 22 years old and he's a centre back. I mean, centre backs don't peak till they're 30. I mean,
exactly. And he's already, bossed the San Siro against Milan and Inter.
Yeah.
So
I like him. I really do. I think he's got to get better and better. I mean, look, he can't have a better person learn under than Virgil van Dijk. So he's got Matip as well for their experience. He's a tremendous prospect, and only 36 million was it. It's great business by the club once again for me. Great business. Be shocked if Origi don't go Brighton. I think he's going to AC Milan, mate. I think that's almost done. Origi for Villa. Yeah, I think he's a good, great. On Sky Sports, it says AC Milan planning to take him. Great move. I think he'll do bits in Italy, Origi.
Yeah.
He'll do bits in Italy because, the pace is a lot slower and he's a quick player. I think it'd suit him down to the ground, Italian football. Good player for that. Kante. Kante, a good player, signs of great things to come, and he's learning under VD and Matip. Exactly. If all goes well, him and Gomez together is the future. Yeah, I think we all forget. I think Gomez is only 24, 25 himself. He's a young'un as well. Right, Mr. Legend, Jimmy Milner.
Great player.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm putting him. I was going to put him there even if we disagreed. James Milner is a legend as far as I'm
Mate,
concerned.
the fact that he's nearly 40 and still, actively, one of the, best, all-rounder footballer.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another player in world football that can do what James Milner does.
So versatile.
And I love him. And of course, that deal with his 1-year contract situation, whether or not he'll sign or not, I hope he does. And I think as well, coaching wise as well, I think he'll be brilliant.
Yeah,
we've seen Stevie G at the minute, obviously take over, Villa and Rangers, and that. I think James Milner could have a good managerial career as well in the future. Mm. But as a player, he's absolutely brilliant, and 100% great player.
Yeah.
Best free transfer as well, I should say.
Yeah, best Liverpool free. I mean, him and Matip, ain't they? They run each other close, but Milner's versatility in the team. I think there was a thing they were talking about Paul Pogba today. There's a thing about Paul Pogba because it's an international break, and Paul Pogba to come up with a brand new quote, ain't it? Dissing Man United yet again. But before I get to that, let's introduce this young man from Liverpool, weighing 140 pounds. Jack Mack. I think you're on mute,
classic
Jack.
McKendo, he's on mute.
He's on mute. He's already on mute.
Yeah, there we go, boys. I was just saying, mate, after lockdown, probably weigh a bit more heavier than that. Like,
I gave you a few pounds off.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, mate. Great to speak to you as well.
Mate.
Apologies a bit late. We're here, but hopefully everyone in chat's having a good night.
Yeah, we're having a good time here. We're having a good time. Let's just get to some of these comments before we move on. Regular replaced Lallana as the true god of AC Milan. Christopher Edwards. Milner has been brilliant. One of the most versatile players I've ever known. Yeah, I love Jimmy Milner. Not great anymore. Hasn't been for 2 seasons, but still good. But in total, his LFC is definitely great. Greg Edward. James Milner's signing was one of the biggest coups. Changed our mentality from medical to winning. Exactly. Would sell. Love the guy though. Everything about him is dope. Send him to Leeds for a season. Let him end his career. How it started. He deserves great things. He does. He's a great man. Del Boy in the house. How are you, Del Boy? Gunner TV. Hope you're doing well. What's the bleeding story, Jamie? We are good, Del Boy. Hope you're doing well, mate. Big up, Jack. Jamie's been clever here, starting with the worst guest, leaving the best to last. Oh, Chris.
Wow.
Chris, it's usually Jack you're having a go at.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It's because
it's me.
He's woken up on the good side of the bed today.
Chris, I'm coming for you. I swear to God, I'm coming for you.
Liam Neeson, he's going to get you off.
So let's go to the next one. Right, let's give Jack this one. Jack Gomez. As you can see, we've got world-class, great, good, decent, would sell but love him, in the bin, and Adrian.
Where would you have Adrian's level? Oh yeah, I can see someone else who will talk about him later.
Yeah. Oh no.
For me, I'd say good player. I think pre him getting injured, I think he would have been on a great player. Obviously, it's been a difficult last 12 months really for him, but if he can hopefully regain that form, which we did see prior to him getting the couple of injuries, mate. But yeah, he's going to be a good player, and I foresee him getting used massively if he can stay fit. I know there's a lot of talk of him potentially leaving the club, but I think given his age profile and given his quality, most importantly, I think long term post Van Dijk, when you've got to think about it, I think ideally, if Jurgen does stay, I think he'd want to utilise Gomez and Kante. Because I tell you what, if those two did stay fit and built on their partnership, then we'd literally have one of the best young partnerships in the whole of Europe. For me,
I totally agree, Connor.
I absolutely agree. like Jack said before his injury, I think him and Virgil conceded as a partnership, 4 goals in 38 games, which was, ridiculous levels. And then it's always been, that when we won the title, it was always, him, Matip and Lovren rotating as our second option. And then since obviously the knee injury last year, he hasn't had a look in. I think he's played the least amount of minutes out of, all the defenders this season. So, yeah, for me, good player, but he does have that potential, same as Ibu. They're both still very, very young. And I'm pretty confident they'll both be great players come the future.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get some more comments here. Tom in the house. Here's the other lizard. Oh, Tom.
I didn't know Paddy the Baddy was in the fucking comments.
Good, says Edward. Good, says John. Decent, says 1963. Chris, just messing, lads, before you start crying to the cups because you can't handle the truth. Chris woke up with violence today, and that's it. Good play, Gomez. Without the injuries, great, but at current, good. I hope the old Gomez is still there. It's a shame he needs time on the pitch, but he's behind the 2 best. He is definitely better than Konate. Well, that's an interesting topic. I personally think Joe will defo leave in the summer, says Edward. There are at least 5 to 7 Premier League clubs that have an interest in him. Villa, Leicester, Southampton, West Ham, Wolves and Leeds. This is Gomez's problem because it is a World Cup year. So he will want to go to the World Cup. So I don't know. There is a free transfer that we'll talk about later when we get onto the free transfers that we might be interested in if Joe Gomez does go. So it's an easy replacement. And I'll let you guys know about that later. I have a feeling on it. Let's get to Joel Matip, the legend that is Joel Matip.
Yeah, high. It's got to be very, very high.
Where did I just put him? There he is. So is it in between great and world class almost?
Higher.
Yeah, Matip's own category.
It's in between great and world class, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think great. Most underrated centre back in the world.
Oh yeah, easily. I love Joel Matip. I absolutely adore the man. I just think when I look at world class defenders, I think his injuries in the last few years just stop him being that. But I mean, this season he's been completely injury free. I think he's only out for illness this season, ain't he? So he's been fantastic. It's just, do you know what? Fuck it. In theory, how many better centre backs in the world is there better than Joel Matip? Really?
Yeah. For me, he's world class, mate. As I said, he's both just hit the nail on the head, and everyone in the comments. I think obviously you've got to take away. Yes, we can talk about the injuries and have hampered his Liverpool career, but last 12 months, mate, he's easily in the top 5 of centre backs in the whole of Europe over the last 6 to 8 month period. And Liverpool are in the position of all the cup trophies for Joel Matip. He has had a better season than Van Dijk this season. I think all of us can agree with that. And I think if Liverpool are going to be successful, for me, he deserves his own category. Best free transfer, up there with obviously Gary Mack and obviously James Milner as well. But for me, world class, Joel.
Yeah, totally. Gary McAllister, I forgot about Gary Mack being a free transfer. What a player he was. Can you imagine if Twitter was around when we bought Gary McAllister?
Oh, yeah, they were like, why are we signing this?
It would have gone balmy. But, he only helped Steven Gerrard become the player he is today. If you read Gerrard's book, he absolutely loves Gary McAllister. Let's get Chris. Looking at the players you got, how disrespectful not to involve our Madden 2 Swords kit model, Ben Davies, who's on loan at Sheffield.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets promoted and we get some money.
Yeah.
Got a clause in that.
Yeah, and probably get a bit of money from him, to be fair. Great player, love Matip, great, world-class end of, says the Savage, and I agree. Great player for Matip, let's be sensible now. I think Matip is just short of world-class. Changed my mind, world-class. He's been our best centre-back this season for me. Definitely in between great and world class. Yeah, it's just that fine area, ain't it? It's that fine area. But yeah, I love Joel Matip, guys. While we're on the subject of world class, shall I just put Virgil straight up there? Because
yeah.
I mean, this man is up. Look, he was always a quality player. Even at Southampton, he was still one of the best defenders in the league. He's just no one recognised it because he played for Southampton. As soon as he comes to Liverpool, he gets the world best title straight away. And obviously, this season's taken him a little bit of time to get back up to it. I mean, when you've had 10 months out, it's going to. But just of recent form, he's back to the best, ain't he, lads?
Yeah, 100%, mate. I still think there's levels to his game, but his thing when he was so blessed to have Van Dijk, a 50% fitness Van Dijk is better than most centre-backs in the whole of Europe. He's just so relaxed. I've never seen, especially in my and Connor's lifetime, obviously he had the early obviously great Sami Hyypiä, Carragher, but those two really aren't on a level of Van Dijk. Yeah. The best centre-back I've personally seen play for Liverpool. Obviously, you had your legendary centre-halves back in the day in the 70s and 80s, but this fella is a cut above the rest, really. And to finish second in the Ballon d'Or behind Messi,
should have won it.
That just says everything about it, mate. But yeah. World class.
Look, well, Jack, to be fair, you have to disrespect Dejan Lovren like that. The best centre back in the world. Like, no, I absolutely agree with what Jack said. He is comfortably the best centre back in the world. And the fact that he, this season we were wondering, when he would come in, after the knee injury, just start the season, how he left it. And, the numbers have proven that. And the fact that he, had that injury, come back and easily become the best again, it just goes to show his mentality as well. The fact that he said, if you watch, I think LFC did a small documentary on the injury, and he said that he lost around 20 pound in muscle, and he had to get that back. It just goes to show the mentality of the lad, and I love him. He is the best centre back I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I absolutely love the fact he's at Liverpool.
Yeah, it says a lot when rival fans have this thing about Van Dijk, the dribble pass stat that for some reason exists now on Twitter. Van Dijk. It was that thing with Trent. Now Trent's been getting it. Martinelli dribble past Trent. Oh,
well, it just shows how good they are.
Just levels, isn't it? Yeah, and the best is when was it Martinez a couple of weeks ago when he come to Anfield and all the attackers now around Europe. He just can't be bothered running with Van Dijk.
No.
He's got.
That was hilarious. That was hilarious, wasn't it? He had his head down, running up, and he saw Van Dijk and stopped. I just missed myself. I was like, well, that tells you everything, don't it? Tells you everything. 1963, he's not world class, but great at best. Van Dijk is God level. Yeah, I should have had a God level on there, to be fair. World class, a level above world class. Yeah, exactly. The man is a Jedi. He uses a false 9 defence all the time. Probably does. I mean, I just love Van Dijk. He is arguably Liverpool's greatest ever defender. I mean, there'd be people obviously bring up the likes of the Alan Hansons and stuff like that, but we can't go that far back, can we, guys? So, definitely for me, Virgil van Dijk. Right, let's go. Trent Alexander Arnold.
Exactly where the main men are. Yeah.
Trent Alexander Arnold. Don't really need to talk too much. Best right back in the world, guys.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And he's only 23. I think he was playing in the Champions League final at the age of 19 or something stupid.
Yeah, he played in the first final at 19. I mean,
it's
scary.
This whole he can't defend nonsense does irritate me, really does, because they only pick on him. But I saw a stat that only Cancelo has been dribbled past. I'm going to use that now. Dribbled past more times this season than Trent Alexander-Arnold. So, I think it's because Trent's English and he's Scouse. And if he weren't either of them, I think he'd be, people would say, I look at Roberto Carlos weren't the greatest defender for a fullback, But my God, what he did going forward was out of this world. You know, if Trent was Brazilian, he'd be their number one right back. Without a doubt about it.
Well, even look at like Dani Alves and Cafu, mate. Obviously, Cafu was quite good defensively in terms of Dani Alves, but at the end of the day, how football has evolved over the last 5-6 year period, or even go a bit more further back, obviously prime Barcelona. Predominantly, when you look at the goals in which Barca back in the day, prime Barca used to concede, it always used to be from the wide areas because that's where the natural space was for opposition teams. And it's the case for Liverpool. Liverpool would defend with a 2-on-2 the majority of the time, obviously with Fabinho dropping in between the two centre halves, and then Alisson plays sweeper keeper. But what he's doing at the minute, mate, and he's not that many far assists behind bloody. Is it who's the most assists? Is it Scholes? Yeah, or like even like when you look at it, it's obviously his assists are already mad at like 23, but I think he will eventually break the assist records in the Premier League. I think at the end of his career.
Look at it. Oh, go on, Jim. Oh no, but you look at it last year. Obviously, everyone goes back. Like rival fans, they always go back to that like 3-month period where he had a dodgy spell, and expect that world class players don't. And they always like go back to that and like the Real Madrid header back and that. And like since then, he's been brilliant. Like he's been, you know, undoubtedly the best right back, because the fact that, you know, he got compared to Wan-Bissaka, that debate got cancelled. Then it was Kyle Walker, then it was Cancelo, and then because Mbappe said Hakimi was the best right back, it was then Hakimi against Trent. And it's like all of them are against Trent, so quite clearly Trent Alexander Arnold is the best right back in the world because you've tried to compare him to every single right back around Europe.
Yeah, for me, even when I look at Cancelo, and everyone and Jay and everyone in chat, I think if you've got your head screwed on, I can appreciate Trent. I think we all can. Trent and Cancelo are the best fullbacks at what they do, along with Robinson as well. Those three, what they're doing currently, especially in the Liverpool and City's systems, especially Cancelo coming off the left into obviously using his right foot, he's phenomenal, mate. It's remarkable.
No, he's they're both great players, and but Trent is just, you know, he's 23, and what he's done in his career so far is more than a lot of people do in their whole careers. So, you know, I don't understand that. You know, how he's not right back for England is I don't understand it. I always look at Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker gets away with a lot because he's quick. You know, he's probably the quickest player in the league. If he take that pace away from Kyle Walker, defensively he's not that great. But he just gets back in one-on-ones and wins the ball because of his pace. No, defending, look, we only conceded 20 goals this season the way we defend. So it can't be that bad of a fullback.
You wouldn't think it, laugh from the
from 12.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Apparently our defence is shocking and all that, but you know what I mean. Nature Boy, the world class seems to be getting better. If anyone has noticed, if he gets the laziness tracking back out of the game, he will be up there with the greatest right backs of all time. Yeah. I mean, you hear Klopp have a go at him all the time, but look, I always look at it. If Klopp weren't happy with him, he wouldn't be playing right back. It's as simple as that. So,
you could say even, Jane, everyone, it is the most important position, like the fullbacks in Liverpool system, because we do play so predominantly through our fullbacks.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Football's evolved. Football's evolved. When we were kids, the fullbacks never went past the halfway line. You know, they were defensive-minded players, and now the fullback is, you know, they're making fullback sexy. Let's put it that way. I mean, it's a position you want to play now. It's just the way football evolves. Trent is the best right back in the league. He's given. He even has the best defensive stats. Yeah, I saw that. He has the best defensive stats about all the fullbacks. But you're not allowed to say this, guys. You're not allowed to say this. You know.
It's pointless having debates on Twitter, mate. It just you just can't.
Right, I'm going to do one here that could be maybe a bit awkward. Thiago. Now, this is in his Liverpool career, not the player himself.
World class, still.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah, because I think anything below world class would be a car crash, really, and you'd have people coming in crying.
And I agree with you. I totally agree with you. The reason I say world class as well, because before Liverpool bought him, he was arguably the best midfielder in the world at Bayern Munich. Everyone was talking about him. Everyone wanted him. As soon as he comes to Liverpool, he's automatically a flop for some reason. People don't watch. I swear, I think people don't watch football anymore and just watch highlights. And when you watch highlights, you're only getting a glimpse of what TV companies want to show you. They want to show you basically clickbaiting highlights. That's what they want to show you. They don't show you a full game. And if you watch this man play football, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous, guys. Don't know what you think on that.
Well, it's the fact that you look at the stats particularly, and the Liverpool play completely differently when Thiago's in and out of the team. If you watch him in real life, just everything he does, and obviously Twitter reacts like, oh, if Thiago takes a touch, Liverpool fans go crazy. And it's like, in a sense, yes, because look, every single thing that he does is magical. Look at, Arsenal game, for example, recently, that through ball, would anyone have thought that ball, world-class players, City with De Bruyne and so on, in this first, this first game against Chelsea, I think everyone was just focused on him because he was clearly a cut above the rest in terms of the midfielders. And he's something that Liverpool have never had. We've never had anyone that's been classed as world class come into Liverpool before.
No.
And it was he's kind of a luxury item then, really.
No, you're
I think if we were to play, a better example would be, as well, if we played Real Madrid in the final, I think Thiago would be so integral, especially against that midfield three. As Conzo, you and Connor alluded to, and everyone in chat as well, he takes Liverpool's game similar to Trent. There's no player within this Liverpool team really that is fit to lace his boots, really, in terms of you only have to watch like the great. Remember Maradona warming up and the great players during your warming up, and you just take the Mickey. But Thiago, if you've never, he just you can just watch him just train, warm up. The stuff he does, like the flicks and everything, it's typical Spanish flair, really.
Totally agree. John says, need to think about him in his Liverpool career. Has been a great player, but doesn't play enough to be world class. And it's a fair enough statement. That I just love Thiago. I think, as you say, we have never bought a world class player before. We make them world class, and they sort of then leave. But we actually bought a world class footballer, and he's integral to what we play. I'm just going to get all the world class players out of the way with Mo. World class, without a doubt, best player in the world.
Yeah, 100%. No comments, really.
Easy one. Fabinho, world class, because I think there's only two people maybe better than him at defensive midfield position. So that's what class is world class for me. Right, and then we got these left guys. Who do you want to choose, guys? Jack, you choose. We've got Tsimikas, Karius.
Robbo. Can we go Robbo?
Go on him. Where do you want him?
World class.
Yeah. Totally agree.
For me, obviously, I don't know how everyone else felt, but obviously, I think growing up as a kid, I watched the great Barca sides and even Marcelo. I used to watch that great Real Madrid side, especially going down the left-hand flank. Marcelo was the shining example for fullbacks, especially down that left-hand side. Obviously, Patrice Evra, when he used to play for Manchester United as well. Ashley Cole was was up there as well in his time. But Andy Robinson is a million. Him and Cancelo down that left-hand flank. By far, the two best fullbacks. I'd just say Davies for Bayern, if he was a bit more older, a bit more matured about his game, I think Davies will eventually take the mantle. Not to say that he's a bad left back.
Well, Alphonso Davies,
yeah, but
I reckon,
Robbo's phenomenal.
Robbo, as you say, is his defensive work is underrated as well. I think. He's a very, very good defender, Connor.
Yeah, no, he is, and he only what was it, free transfer practically for Kevin Stewart?
More than right, I think it's like a couple of million it made it out of it or something like that.
So undoubtedly world class. It just him and Trent, constantly changing the game, and defensively as well. Robbo's been, sound defensively since he came into the team. And the only way he came into the team was because of Alberto Moreno got injured in the Champions League game, and he's never looked back since.
Never left that spot, exactly. Right, Connor, your pick now. Connor, your pick now, my man.
The best player in the world, Sadio Mane.
Sadio Mane.
Yeah, world class for me.
World class. In his time with Liverpool, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
People might talk about him now, but in his time at Liverpool, arguably the best left-sided forward in the world at his time.
Yeah.
Unquestionably.
I think many people as well forget how good Sadio is, because of how good Mo is. Yeah. Like people, his off-the-ball movement is something that no other player, I don't think, can do on that left-hand side. Sadio is skillful, can score goals, assists, plenty of pace, power, and the fact that Jurgen Klopp keeps the faith with him, in big games. We look at European games, you'd think Bobby, Mo, and Sadio, and the fact that Liverpool have bought that front three all at once, you would think, and 5 years on, it's still the main front three. Just goes to show how good they are. And for me, there's no other left-sided winger in the world that is anywhere near Sadio Mane. In my opinion, you look at him, people go on about Neymar and all that crap, and for me, Neymar's nowhere near Sadio Mane. And he, for me, undoubtedly world class.
Jack?
Yeah, all day, mate. And as Con said, the consistent levels in which obviously Sadio Mane. No, not a minute. In terms of the last 5-6 years, in terms of his season in, season out, he's got 15, 20 odd goal a season contribution, and for me, lads, and I don't know, a chat as well. For me, I think he's got so much more to give at the club. I know he's 30, 31 years old, or probably a bit more younger than that anyway. But for me, I still feel we're still. Yes, we've seen the world-class performances over the last 5-6 years. I still think there's levels to his game that he could potentially reach at Liverpool, really. I think, obviously, I remember watching, I think they've won that Champions League final against Madrid. Mane was on one-man bloody mission. Obviously, he got the goal against Real, and that game, the lack of control in the midfield, but the one man that was bloody trying his backside off, doing everything, and obviously the winning mentality in which him and Mo have got. Sadio Mane, he is shadowed by Salah, but I tell you, then you've got a whole debate. Obviously, I never grew up in an era of John Barnes, but I tell you what, it's the debate of who is better in terms of Mane or Barnesy. That's a whole bloody show in itself.
Yeah, we could all do a show on that.
Yeah, but both of them were so good at the time, and obviously Mane, mate. I think if Salah is to leave, I'm pretty sure Mane would pick up that mantle 100%, mate. Hopefully, we don't see Salah leaving, but if Salah was to leave, Sadio would be a man and give him a new contract and make him Liverpool's star man.
Totally agree. Mane's still world class today, says John. If we're speaking overall, defo Mane world class. He has been incredible for us, and he mugged off Bayern. That he did.
He'll do that in the semis as well, again.
Mane's got 12 goals this season, but apparently he's finished. So, that tells you how good the man is, really, don't it? Right, I'm gonna pick one here. I am gonna go Naby Keita, and I am going to put him in good player. The reason he's got the potential to be a great player, but we haven't seen enough of him in a full season ever to give him that title. But I believe he's a great footballer. I believe there's something in him. You can see it the way he plays. He's got the touch control. He's got pace. He can dribble. He presses off the ball probably better than anyone else in our midfield, I'd say he's our best presser in midfield. Don't know about you guys. I'm going to put him in good. Jack?
Oh, we're going to start a whole bloody debate now. For me, today we're waiting until I get off to Ox.
This gap here is open. This is open.
Yeah,
I know some people.
For me, obviously, as you said there, mate, he's still, I'm pretty sure, Klopp obviously loves the player still. We tried, we spent all that money to get him into the club, and that was for the reason. But same as his career at Liverpool, obviously, he frustrates me sometimes. But I was going to go decent, but I'd agree with you there, mate. A good player, because the best performance I've seen from Naby, especially this season, was that Old Trafford performance away from home. If Naby could play like that week in, week out, then it'd be probably one of the first players on the team sheet, really. But I just wish and hope for the next couple of years, if he does sign that new deal, he needs to stay fit. Because I tell you, if he stays fit, it would be tremendous. But we can't have another 12 months, especially if it gets 12 months left on his contract and he still continues to get injured. Then Klopp will be frustrated, because if you look at Klopp's signings, the majority of them, 98% signs have worked out. Naby will be that one bugbear that for the next 5 years, if he does stay fit or he leaves Liverpool and he does well, you're like, it's going to be one of them what if moments. But for me, good player, could be better, most importantly, but I think good for me personally is what I say.
Connor?
For me, no, I'm kidding. Chris would be slowing me in the comments right now, probably. For me, I agree. It's in between great and good player. I think if he could keep up that consistency that we're all speaking about, I think, great, absolutely. But it's the fact that whenever Naby has a good period, a good 3 or 4 or even 5 games, there's always that little injury, and then it's the reset, and then you've already got Fabinho is not going to be moved, Thiago, if he's fit, is not going to be moved, and Jordan Henderson's not going to be moved in Liverpool's midfield, and then it's that thing then for Naby of where how can he get back into the team? And if that 3 or potentially 4, that's being rotated, how does he get into that? And for me, he's not in that conversation so much as what I'd like him to be. He should be that man that is constantly, if that guy's dropped, Naby straight in replacing him. The Manchester United game, for example, as Jack said, that is his best Liverpool game. I remember Porto as well, I think, when we won the Champions League at Anfield. He was tremendous in that leg. And that's the Naby I want to see more and more. It's just frustrating when, he does have that injury and then it's that reset. Like, for example, Brighton early on the season, Naby was having, a fantastic season until then and then got injured. And then it's that waiting game then of, when does he get back into the team? But good, potentially great.
Yeah, I agree. Edward is a would sell. Fair enough. I agree. Naby hasn't reached his potential yet. Good player. I think we're never going to see a great Naby in the Premier. Maybe it was a league. We saw him in before that gave us the idea. Like Minamino. Yeah, good point. And then Nature Boy back again. Savage is back again. I ain't happy about Origi. Indecent. It doesn't sit right with my soul after Bath at Everton and Spurs. Right, we will come back to Origi at the end of everyone's finish because, I'm with you on that Origi thing. We might change him up to Adrian. No, I'm not joking. We might. We'll have another look at the Origi. Right, Jack. Players left. Have a pick, man.
Henderson.
Hendo, the captain, the leader. It's got to be a tough one.
Yeah, I've got to go world class.
You go world class? Oh, you gotta get some comments here.
Yeah, but justify for me, he's won me over the last couple of years. The more years that I've progressed, Liverpool wouldn't win the trophies we'd won without Jordan Henderson. I think for me personally, obviously, what he offers in terms of his presence on the pitch and the captaincy, the way he commands and speaks he will be the main person that's trying to get Salah's contract sorted, and that's 100 million%. Hendo will be the one that's banging on the bloody wood or every single bloody hour of the day saying when's Mo's contract getting done. He wants his best players to be rewarded. And for me, mate, I know obviously you can talk about his ability on the ball. I think he's massively underrated, and I've been very heavily critical in his past. But I think now, if people are still hated on Henderson, it's for them personally anyway. It's like it's even I criticised him when he came into the club, and obviously, but he's if there's still people out there that still don't understand the value of Henderson, then I don't think football's for you. Like for me, I was very heavily critical of Henderson, and I've done a full 360, and I love the lads now. Yeah. Hopefully we look back, and hopefully Liverpool have won a lot more trophies in this time for the next couple of years. But yeah,
I understand where you're coming from. So basically, I think you're saying is that we know he's not got world class. He's not got world class ability, but his overall package as a leader, a captain, what he does for the team, his performances. I've been saying this for a while. Jordan Henderson isn't a world-class footballer, but he performs at a world-class level. And that's how I look at it. I look at someone like Paul Pogba, who does have world-class ability, but doesn't perform at a world-class level. And I think that's how I look at footballers. You know, you can't. It's just not about technical ability. You got to have it up here, and you got to have it in your heart as well. And if you have all that together with your technical ability, you'll be an unbelievable footballer, a bit like Ronaldo and Messi. That's why they've stayed around so long, because they got all three of them things. And with Hendo, he hasn't got world class ability, but he performs at a world class level. And like you say,
good luck. No, I was just going to say he's worked his backside off to be where he was. As you said there, he's not like a Pogba or like a Zinedine Zidane, who players that are just like Messi, born with the gift of being a good physical player that's very technical. Completely different Thiago, as we mentioned, but as you said there, Mez, for what he has worked every second of his footballing career, he's defined everyone at Sunderland, he's defined everyone coming into Liverpool, and obviously, as I said, his attitude is absolutely 1,000,000%. Then you wouldn't. It's him and Gerrard are completely different captains. Obviously, everyone knows the differences. Well, for me, he is the better captain than Gerrard, not in terms of quality, but in terms of his captaincy and of Liverpool. For me, obviously that will cause a whole bloody another debate.
You've got.
But that's my thought as well. So.
Nature Boy says second greatest captain in Liverpool history, has to go down as a great player for me, but I am mad at world class. 1963, that world class. Are you sniffing glue? Well, the way we said it, 1963, is that we know he's not got world class ability, but it's his whole package. It's his whole package. Have you noticed that whole first team is world class? Come on, Bobby, I'm rooting for you. Right,
well, that's how blessed we are, isn't it?
That is how blessed we are. That's why I wanted to do this. And Connor, you're the next pick.
Should we do like Liverpool 2010 like class?
Oh yeah, we'll do that next week. Oh fuck you know.
I can do that.
I'll just get depressed off of it.
Who you going?
Well, Data's mentioned it. I think other people as well. Nature Boy's mentioned it. Bobby Firmino, and get him up in world class.
Totally.
No doubt for me. Defensive striker, if you want to call him that. I know many people will have a go at that, but yeah, again, we talk about Trent and Robbo, and how they've changed, the fullback areas. Bobby Firmino has changed the way that strikers work, and for more recently, you look at someone like Spurs and Harry Kane, how they try and get him, more deeper, more involved in the game. But the difference is with Bobby, he plays in that way, and Inter Milan away is a perfect example of this, where he plays in between the lines of the midfield and defense and just draws people out of position, which allows the likes of Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, even the midfielder sometimes to go forward and go on and score an assist. Yeah, for me, Bobby is undoubtedly world class, and there's no one else. I don't think world football can do what Bobby can do in a team.
I totally and utterly agree, Jack.
Yeah, 100%. I was going to say, Con, yeah, there's no other player out there apart from potentially Calvert in the future. I think if he wasn't at Chelsea, I would love Liverpool to sign Calvert because obviously technical ability. But I think Liverpool probably will evolve their game post Bobby because you don't look out there in Europe now, and obviously Jurgen Klopp and obviously the scouts will probably have a good idea who potentially they would want to replace. But for me at the minute, this, as Con said, and everyone's already said, yeah, world class Bobby. Like, he brings the best out of. He makes Salah and Mane. He's unselfish as well. He brings the best out of the players in and around him, and sometimes, obviously, years gone by, he's probably the most unselfish player I've seen in a Liverpool shirt, and that's just mad.
Yeah, I agree. And apart from, I mean, Messi probably made the false nine fashionable to start with, but it was, for me, Bobby Firmino took it over. You know, I can't remember them two are probably the best false nines in history so far in that position, Messi and Bobby Firmino for me, because I can't think of many others who play it that well. Me
potentially as well. I'd have to throw Muller in there. Because
Muller's great.
I mean, Bobby, like, two of the most underrated players in world football. Everyone's like, "Oh, Muller's not quick," but
doesn't need
Muller's. Yeah, Muller's Muller. You just have to look at his national record. He's always in the right place at the right time. But yeah, world class Bobby.
Yeah, totally right. I'm going to do one now that might upset a few people, but Taki Minamino would sell, but I love him. I just don't see Taki Minamino playing football for Liverpool next season, guys. I don't know if you agree with that, but I do love the player because he helped us get to the League Cup final. He's chipped in with a lot of goals this season for a fringe player, and you do need them fringe players, but I just don't see him getting football for Liverpool next season.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I love him to bits, Taki, and I think he joined Liverpool at the worst time, obviously with COVID, and obviously Taki, when you're learning another language, coming in, not being allowed to leave your hotel room, coming in and out, training on his own as well, as a lot of the footballers were in and around that time period for the last 2 years, obviously when we had COVID. But I think, obviously, if he does leave, I think he'll hopefully regain his confidence. Obviously coming quite shy and everything, mate, but I think we all love him. He's a player that we've seen a lot more worse players at the football club in our time, haven't we? But he's a player that he comes in and he gives 110%, and you can't ask for anything more.
Yeah, exactly. Right, I'm going to put some of these in now. Costas, I'm going to put in good because I think he's a quality player. And Harvey Elliott in good as well. And that leaves these four boys left, guys. 4 players that are probably not going to ever play for Liverpool Football Club ever again, in my opinion. Let's go for it. Right. Connor, you can deal with the Ox.
Oh, I can deal with the Ox.
Yeah, I'll let you deal with the Ox.
Yeah.
just straight up bin. Like, he is the most disappointing player of this season.
Yeah,
for me. Like, from pre-season to now, like, honestly, I was so hyped for him in pre-season, but now, there's just no way back for me. Especially because he has a year left on his deal. For me, gone 100% this summer.
Yeah, don't get me started, Jay, on this, man. I was, obviously, if you go back on my channel, I was buzzing when we signed him. Same. He always used to be England's best player, didn't he? For internationally. I was like, oh, bloody hell, he's very versatile, he could play anywhere. And obviously, before his injuries against Roma in Champions League, I think it's more psychologically barely now. It's a lack of... I remember I was sitting at bloody Anfield watching that Brighton game this season, and the fact that Klopp had to single-handedly talk him through the whole bloody game Was the game me and you went to come? Was it, or was
I was meant to come one night and then I couldn't come.
Oh, it's all right. Thank God you didn't go. It was a draw anyway, because it was just disgraceful, mates, and it has to come from deep rooters. I wish Taki or I wish an Origi had the opportunity, and which Ox does. I think Klopp's doing it now out of spite, really. Like, he just keeps on playing him. It's like, eventually, we'll have, obviously, yeah, you can talk about his 2 good goals back-to-back. Everyone's like, oh, bloody hell, Ox is back now. And then he just drops out of bloody 2, 3, 4, 5 rated performances. Obviously, yeah, I think people are still living off the Ox of pre-injury. He's never going to hit those levels ever again in a Liverpool shirt. And for me, it's just, he's on a big wages as well. He's on an easy 100 grand a week. For me, the quicker we get rid of him, and the better for his Liverpool career as well, the better.
I agree. Chris is back. Great player, Simicast. Harvey, good. Simicast done nothing wrong since coming in. Little Mix has been bitching to send to Crystal Palace and move on. Ox would sell, but I love him. This tier is interesting. Definitely certain bias towards one player. Cater is in the bin. Cater in the bin.
Actually, for me, I'd put Costas. Great player.
Costas, great. I'm happy with that. Go for it.
Just how pushed he's pushed on Robbo to play as well as he has.
True. Right. Yeah. Jack, Nat Phillips.
Great player, 100%. Liverpool, I seen a tweet last night and it was 100%. If Liverpool win the Champions League this season, it's down to Nat Phillips and Reece Williams. Because remember what they done last season? We would not be playing Champions League football if it wasn't for them two. We would still have Fabinho and Henderson centre half, and we don't want that. But for me, as I said, he's a man that puts everything on the line, and I'm just surprised no one really coming with a bigger bid for it next season. No. I'd be made up if Bournemouth do come up, because obviously we'd be getting 13 regular football in the Premier League. But yeah, good on that.
Totally. Connor, who do you want?
That's good. Nico Williams, McKindo can have carries. Would sell.
I agree.
I think it's tough for Nico, especially, we've already spoken about Trent and how good he is, and we're seeing what he's doing currently at Fulham, in easily being the best right back in the Championship, obviously best side in the Championship. Don't get me wrong, but scoring goals. That strike that he had from the halfway line and he hit the crossbar, like that was brilliant. Injecting his Xabi Alonso, but yeah, for me, for what Nico Williams wants, he wants to be in the team. But at the minute, you're currently competing against one of the best right backs, in the world, and one of the best players that couldn't ever lace up a pair of boots for Liverpool. And he's 23. So I think if Fulham come up, I think he'll go Fulham.
Yeah, I think he's doing good. He plays good for Wales as well when he plays as well.
He's come to Liverpool, obviously, the worst time. Imagine if you're him. He's better than some of the right backs we've had prior to Trent.
Yeah,
I tell you what now, back in obviously, but he's in the shadow of he's a similar age to Trent as well. Imagine if you're Nico, you're like, everyone's like comparing you to Trent, and you're like, himself will know he's not on that level. I don't think many players are on football and Trent's level, but yeah, as Connor said, I'm hoping he does get promoted with Fulham, and obviously he does get that experience in the Premier League, because make him a better player for that.
Totally agree. And Jack, you got Karius, my man. Now Adrian's, I think, should be on his own.
I'd say no. I'd say put Adrian on bin, because
Adrian in bin, because Karius in Adrian.
But it's dedicated to Adrian.
For me, Adrian. I think everyone forgets how important he was in us winning the league at that time, that season as well. obviously he was in goal for at least 9 to 10 games throughout that season, and obviously we won the Super Cup as well. I think it was under, and obviously the other trophies as well. So yeah, but I think he's still at the club due to obviously how important he is behind closed doors. Us fans we're not a fly in the wall, but I'm pretty sure if you were, we'd see how important Adrian was in terms of dressing room. But Karius, mate, I don't understand why he's still at the club, because obviously I think pretty sure he got left out of the Premier League and the Champions League squads.
Yeah.
And every single time I've gone to Anfield, he's not even doing the warm-up drills. He's just being like a ball boy for like it's sad, really. Like another parallel universe, we win that Champions League, and he obviously stays at the club, and he still is at the club. It's sad, really, but at the end of the day, football is a results business, and sometimes you've got to cast aside sentiment, really. And winning trophies for Liverpool is the most important thing. And his performance in the final cost Liverpool a Champions League. Obviously, if we lost a game to a Gareth Bale bloody worldie of an overhead kick, then fair play. But we all know what he's done, and I don't even know what he's doing at Liverpool currently. He's probably in charge of the bloody social media account, so I don't know.
He's a Twitter handler. Nature Boy, love Nat, but sell because he'll get no games. Other than that, dope. He deserves first team football. Peter Ray and Cater agenda from Chris. Neko, good player, but yeah, sell Trent's backup needs to be better. I'd go for Spence and Forrest. Yeah, he put in a good performance the other day. No agenda, Peter, just my opinion. 1963 day. All right. Only one I disagree with is Henderson. Yes, he's a world-class captain, but ability-wise, he would be a great player. Certainly not the same level as Thiago. But anyway, different opinions. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. We're all here for opinions, right or wrong.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
I like Neko, but move to Fulham on a permanent will be a good move for me. I think he will as well. We play every week. Adrian and Karius both on the same tier for me. Carrier, send him the space of Elon Musk. Hopefully they forget him up there. Both good games, but most of them bad, unfortunately. Problem is that the final, it was neither Mignolet or Karius in goals. So, well. Right, that's the tier, guys. So there is one, obviously, Nature Boy was on about Mr. Origi. Do we want to change Origi, guys?
Yeah, world class just for his goal against the Evla. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's winds everyone up now. Go. There we go. So we've got no decent players. We've just got a shitload of world class.
Tell you what, that how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we've got 11 plus one's world class sub. So I tell you what, that'd win the Champions League every single season. That team.
To be fair, there's not many better keepers than Ali. Centre back partnerships don't come many better than them two. Not many better right backs than Trent. Thiago is just genius. Salah's probably the best player in the world. Flacco, top 3, top 2 best defensive midfielders in the world. Not many better than Robbo at left back. Mane in his Liverpool career has been outrageous at left wing. Endo with his leadership and captain, and Bobby making that false 9 a sexy role that everyone wants to use now. I mean, it's not really that wrong, to be fair, is it?
It's like when we had that. Was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago when we got voted in that FIFA 11, and it was more or less a whole Liverpool squad, and we broke all the records for like the most starting 11 players out of one team. I mean, it was madness.
1963 day, Rigi is superstar status.
Yeah,
Aldra has been restored. Well,
world class. There we go.
Evening, Daniel. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well. So, guys, that is the tier list. I've got. If you guys disagree or anything like that, please let us know in the comments where you think players should be. But that was our tier list, guys. Just want to look at a few fun things now, So, best free agents this summer. I don't know if you guys have seen the list of players that are available on free this summer. I think
I did a couple of months ago, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to get them up because it's interesting ones. There's interesting ones here. So, obviously, this is the first one.
Shite, get rid. I don't know any question.
Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba obviously is a free transfer this summer. He's definitely leaving Man United. He's never really performed there, has he? And what's he been there? He's been there quite a while, hasn't he?
He's been there. So like, even when he was younger, mate, obviously Fergie told him to F off because he wanted more. I look at him, and obviously when France won the World Cup, it's easy when you've got Kante doing the work for you. I think we could be in Pogba's role, and Kante would do all of our work. It's like basically he made Drinkwater look like a semi-decent average goal player in the Prem.
Yeah. Where do you reckon he'll end up?
PSG.
PSG, chat.
PSG for the wages, mate. I don't think a couple of years ago possibly you could have said about Real Madrid, but obviously they've just signed Camavinga, so he's obviously a young French up-and-coming midfielder. So yeah, PSG all day long, mate.
PSG for the cash. It just seems to make sense, don't it? One matter should retire. Let's move on. Mbappe is an interesting one. I think Mbappe probably, he's definitely going to Real Madrid. Would you say, guys?
Yeah, 100%. Unless we all start to go for me. Yeah,
do a GoFundMe.
We start to go for me. Yeah, to get Mbappe.
I do like Mbappe. For me, him and Salah are the two best players in the world for me. I absolutely love Kylian Mbappe, and he's going to do. He's going to go. I don't even want to know what wages he's going to be on at Real Madrid.
I'd love to see him up against Burnley, like 2 banks of 5.
Actually,
Mbappe, obviously, he's so good in the box, but he'd just be weaving in between. He'd be like, what is this? This is not Farmers League.
Just complete shit ass in Mbappe at Burnley. Right, this man, Luis Suarez, is a free agent. There's talk about him coming back to the Premier League this season. Would you have him back for 1 year?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, if he behaved himself and he was a good boy, then sound yes.
I think we've moved on a lot from Luis Suarez.
Yeah, but imagine bringing him off the bench, lad. For me.
Yeah, but we've got Jota and Luis Diaz for that.
Yeah, but just remember Fergie when he brought in Van Persie, lads, for like 1-2 seasons.
Oh no, I know.
Like to Suarez, he come back to the Atletico and he won the league instantly. I think there's still a world-class player in there. But I think for some reason it's screaming to me that he's going to go to Aston Villa. And if that happens, that will literally be a FIFA career mode signing for Aston Villa.
I think that might be happening as well. I agree. Aston Villa for Suarez. Summer Dembele. Now, this player that I have been on record and said, for me, in some ways, Dembele would have been as good as Mbappe right now if it weren't for his injuries. I think this kid, when he first hit the scene in Borussia Dortmund, was phenomenal. Went to Barcelona, obviously, he can't stay fit, has injury problems. Would you take a chance on him?
No, because
it's bad enough with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah, everyone's listened for me for good 45, 50 minutes talk about navigators, poppadom legs. Like Dembele's are made of what? Weetabix, even worse. He's so fragile. I think if any of us touched him, he'd probably break anyway. But imagine him in the league. Like, we've got like such physical. It's completely different than La Liga. And obviously, yes, when he was at the time at Dortmund, he was a very Bundesliga's up there, one of the most physical leagues in world football. But for me, no.
No, I agree. He's got to go somewhere and make big money, though. This is the thing. He's got to go. I mean, there's got to be teams that will take a chance on him because he has got that ability.
Anyone else think that he's just going to stay at Barca?
Well, Barca just up like give him a new contract.
I think he'll stay. Like there's like you look at the recent weeks, he's been playing a lot more. The problem is apparently he's asking Mbappe level numbers money. In terms of contracts.
This is the problem. Yeah. Daniel says, I'm sorry, Jordan is not world class. Oh, we know that as a footballer, my man. We spoke about it earlier. It was the whole package. Rudiger, he's on a free. Paul Pogba has been the biggest flop in Prem history. I don't want to hear any nonsense from anyone else. He's got a lot of truth in that. And Mbappe's a Real Madrid player. It was announced months ago. Come on, everyone. Yeah, it looks like it'll happen. And Mbappe, Liverpool summer signing.
If you want some clicks, everyone, do your titles like that.
Yeah. Suarez should become a kick it out ambassador. Yeah. Bloody good point from Nature Boy there. Suarez might bite Klopp and leave him where he is. Might bite Klopp. Klopp would knock him out if he tried. Shipper Sal bringing next players back. I agree. Without injuries, Dembele is a Liverpool player of true believers. Yeah, I think he would have been as well if he weren't for his injury problems.
In that case, then we should never have brought Ian Rush back. Then,
yeah, never bring Rush. Yeah, the legend that is Rush. Went to Italy for a year, came back. Went for a little holiday, came back. Just said, "Sorry,
can't
John."
have Rushy back. He's played in Italy.
Oh, can you imagine? Kessie went to Barcelona. Yeah, Kessie's gone to that looks like that deal's happening, but apparently Barcelona got to sell some players before they can make it final. That's how ridiculous it is over there. Dembele is in NHL still bed mode. Kessie's quality signing for Barcelona. Yeah, but no, Kessie. I was never like this is the big one. Paulo Bala, the most overrated footballer of his generation. There you go, I've said it.
I was just going to say about Cassie, mate.
Go for it. You got mute.
Get that. I was just saying, Tyler Morton absolutely battered Kessie in the San Siro. Schooled him.
Yeah.
We got 50 million for Tyler Morton. Should we? Because Tyler Morton's still in. Kessie's still in Tyler Morton's back pocket anyway. Similar with Dybala, mate. For me, I can see him possibly going to. It's either going to be PSG or Barcelona. I think obviously Kun Aguero obviously was sad what happened with him, obviously with his heart and that. But I think Dybala, a Barca or a PSG, it screams to me that.
Well, apparently Dybala wants 10 million a year net. That's what he wants, and it's 8 million. It wants 8 million guaranteed with 2 million with easy bonuses, basically like 10 goals a season or something like that. So it works out as 10 million euros a year net. And Juventus have said there's no way we're giving you that. He's 28 years old now, Dybala. Now, obviously.
He's aged quick, hasn't he?
Last season, was it last season Spurs were interested in or the season before? I know Spurs were very close to trying to make him a player there. Do you reckon Spurs will go back in for him being a free transfer?
Yeah.
Yeah, Spurs will take anyone.
It's Antonio Conte, isn't it?
Yeah. They'll even take me and Con at this rate of the new players. Like Spurs are so desperate. They want to be a relevant club. I tell you, Conte won't spend any more time if they don't get any more players through the door. But yeah, now this is why teams don't win trophies. Obviously, we used to be this team that had just signed the odd one or two players that have obviously had a great career. But now, obviously, Liverpool and City, we've built the whole team and great teams in the past. You need great players in every position. Oh, and bloody don't get me started on this fraud.
Right, let's go. The fraud. Obviously, we were interested in him a while ago, weren't we? But he's another player I don't think's ever lived up to the hype that he was once given.
I think, obviously, how old is he now? Like 28 and 29?
Yeah, he just looks like Jamie Redknapp, doesn't he?
Yeah, obviously, he is probably technically a very good footballer.
Yeah.
But similar with him and, obviously, is it Asensio with Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Those two were bigged up to be, obviously, the next great Spanish players.
Yeah.
And, obviously, he was probably just very content in winning Champions Leagues for having no appearances. I can understand why he stayed at Real Madrid. He's getting paid handsomely, staying in his, obviously, native Spain as well. So I don't know even if he's a Madrid lad anyway. But
I'm not sure.
For me, I would have loved to have seen him outside of Real Madrid. But I think the ship has sailed for him to go. Because I think when City linked with him a while ago as well. But
yeah,
I think they were Lacazette. We could just go past. Oh, big div. He looks like he's going to AC Milan for 4 years. 4-year contract on the table. He'd do amazing things in Italy, Divock Origi.
It'd be
like
Be
that.
the best striker
One for
in
Connor.
the league.
One for
PJ
Connor.
Tour winner. Nice.
one for Connor. Gareth Bale. All right. Take it away, Connor.
I think he's going to end up retiring.
You reckon?
I don't think he's good. Yeah, I don't think he's going to go to another club, especially if I think he's. The rumor is at the minute, I think, is if Wales get through to the World Cup, then he'll find a club. But then if they don't, then he's just going to retire.
Yeah, because this man, look, he's had the life. He's had was he on £600 a week? Is it something ridiculous like that? Is that Barcelona? They don't like him. He don't like them. They can't get rid of him because no one wants to pay that wages, and he's just stuck there. He's in purgatory, basically. And you can tell when he goes to Wales, he's a totally different man. He's a totally different person. But is he one like because Gareth Bale is like uber talented, superb footballer. But do you reckon he's one of them talents that ain't completely fulfilled his potential in his career?
For me, no.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I'd say no.
Or no, that he has shown his quality. For me, I was saying to Connor this week, wasn't it? Like, if you look out of it, outside of England, if that was anyone over there, like, say, a Harry Kane or like another English or a Welsh or a Scottish player that had won, 4-5 Champions Leagues, whatever he's won, he is probably the best British export.
Yeah, I agree.
In the last 20, 30
Definitely.
years. Yeah. The fact that he's got the trophies to back it up.
Yeah, he's won 4 Champions Leagues, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if he was at like Manchester United and had won 4 European Cups, he'd be, a national treasure then, if you want to call it that. But the fact that, he single-handedly won Madrid, 2 of their Champions Leagues when they won the 4?
Yeah, overshadowed Ronaldo.
Still gets disrespect.
The overhead kick against us. Yeah.
Yeah, and the header against Atletico.
Yeah. I never understand the disrespect he gets at Real Madrid. I don't get it.
I think if he learned Spanish, I think a lot of the Spanish media would have taken him well in relation to. But I think it's because he still hasn't really bothered. I can understand where they're coming from. Because imagine if it was like say Diaz didn't really, in his 5 years, 6 years of being at Liverpool, he'd never learned English.
Yeah.
And I think even if we were doing like TV shows or whatnot, or sports shows in Spain, and we were speaking in English or something, or your job, you just the amount of money Bales earns as well in terms of his career. You could literally do like a whole week's crash course with the best Spanish teacher in the world and learn it within a week.
Yeah, totally. I think Real Madrid have come for Connor's internet. So Fred is after him. Dybala's for Arsenal. That's a shout. Completely agree. Dybala is overrated. Isco's been stealing a living since 2017. He certainly has. Have you seen the leaked away kit for Liverpool? Yeah, it's something, I tell you. It's nice. Would you take Rashford to Liverpool? No. Rashford can stay at home with the kids. Peter dropped the link. No chance. I want Rashford anywhere near our club. He stinks the place out on the football pitch. He's giving off kids free meals. Rashford can piss off the fraud. I want him nowhere near this club with shit Google ads that I can't skip. Yeah, I've seen it, Peter. Most of us fans like it for some reason. Bauer's done everything he could do. Yeah, I agree. And hi, Luke. How are you? Bauer's has got undeserving slander at Madrid. Yeah, he totally has. Bauer's won everything apart from English trophies. Yeah, look, I love Gareth. Gareth Bale's a fantastic footballer. I think because he's out of the British media, he doesn't get spoken about enough. But as you say, what an export he's been to.
Imagine if that was an English player, Jay, in chat. Imagine if he was English and he'd won like 4 Champions Leagues. It'd be bloody lauded, and rightly so. But...
Yeah. So obviously Chelsea got a bit of a problem coming up. Their ownership don't get sorted soon. Andreas Christensen and Rudiger are free transfers this summer. Rudiger has even priced himself out of a Real Madrid move. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, that's madness, mate. For me, don't get me wrong, he's a very good centre-back, Rudiger, but he's, for me personally, I know probably I'm screaming, but he's quite overrated. I think he's living off the last good 12 months or since Tuchel's come out. For me, if you're playing the free centre-back partnership, you're not a very complete centre-half. Obviously, no. Thiago Silva is a million miles better centre-half than Rudiger.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic player. But yeah, that priced himself. He wants $500,000 a week, doesn't he? I mean, that's just...
He doesn't deserve that. He's not even... He's a good centre-half, and that's good at least.
This is an interesting player. Kramik from Hoffenheim. He's a striker. He's a decent player. He's up for a free. I know a lot of people look at him like Italian clubs. For me, I don't see him in English football. I think he's one of them players that suit Italian football. And then, I can't believe this, Fernandinho, Man City, coming to an end.
Well, he left the club, didn't he? Like, was it last season? And then Pep was like, no, we need to give him another 12 months.
Gave him another 12 months. I don't know if they're going to give him another rolling 12 months, but I think, we'll see where Man City go after losing all their, Aguero's gone, Company's gone, when Fernandinho goes, this is the old guard of Manchester City, ain't it? So, yeah, he's been a great servant to him, but a lot of free transfers this summer, which, it looks like that's the way football's going now for the big teams. You see that a lot of the big players now are not really getting bought. They're playing out their contracts. And that unfortunately brings me to one thing we have to talk about, and it's Mr. Mo Salah. I think you did a video on it earlier, Jack, about Juventus and Salah and
yeah, for me personally, nobody believe in all those, mate, anyway. It's just the Italian media trying to get clicks, sell the newspapers. Similar to when Liverpool's name gets dragged into so many potential transfer targets on the internet, most importantly. You have to type in Liverpool and everyone, Liverpool being linked to Tom, Dick and Harry, like literally everyone. For me, as I said before, mate, Henderson will be wanting Salah to get his contract sorted. Henderson's like us, he's a fan, and even Trent, he's a scouser. All those players within Liverpool would not have any qualms about him getting paid what he deserves. But for me, at the end of the day, if it comes past the next 60, not the end of next year, the end of this season, Liverpool have won Everton, and he's not signed his contract, then I think obviously the writing will be on the wall. But Mo will stay, and I think he will sign. Yeah. But at the minute, it's just difficult because it's the easy headlines, the easy from Everton as well.
Yeah, that's why I think this thing's talk as well. Obviously, we just spoke about Dybala, and he wants 10 million. He wants 10 million euros net a year, and Juventus have said they can't afford that. But apparently, that's what they're offering Mo Salah. So when you put two and two together, it's just as you say, people doing clicks and.
Why would Salah go to Juventus, Jake, or chat? Why?
Apparently, there's an article saying with Salah that he has spoken to Juventus this week before the international break. Luca Mombolano has claimed that Mo Salah did not reject an initial approach from Juventus for his services. That's apparently the headline they're going with at this moment in time. Look, he's probably flattered that a team like Juventus are, interested in him, but it's a bit of a downgrade, isn't it?
Yeah. If it was when Juve back in the day, Jay, you know yourself. Obviously, when they had Zidane back in the day in the early noughties as well. But as you said, obviously they have. I think everyone's getting putting 2 and 2 together and getting bloody 15. I think with Ronaldo, obviously they had that big massive package for Ronaldo before he left, and everyone's like, oh, well, he can be the replacement for Ronaldo in terms of the wages, mate. But if Mo was to go there, it'd be surrounded by absolute dross in terms of quality players.
Yeah,
I think Mo, if he was to go somewhere, he'd want to be going somewhere that he's at least guaranteed to be getting Ballon d'Ors or like being up there with like the world's best in trophies, most importantly. If you move to Juventus, what are you going to win the Serie A? Like when you pay off all the referees?
and that's not even guaranteed at this moment in time either, is it? I think going there would be more about money than anything else for me. If they're legitimately offering 10 million a year net, which is that right off. I think Dybala, because apparently I heard somewhere that was saying Dybala was asking for 10 million euros a year net, and apparently only 6 players in the Premier League earn more than that. So that's over. Obviously, it must be over 370 a week, 380 a week, 400 grand a week. That's so much money. And personally, I think Mo stays. I've said it all along. I think they'll wait until the summer. There's no football this summer. They can nash it out then. There's a lot of things Mo's going through right now. He's got his international game to think about against Senegal, getting to the World Cup for his country. He wants to finish the season on a high with Liverpool, get that done. Like Klopp said, we'll do all the talking after the season's finished. And I think they get it done. It's a hard deal to do. It's not one of them easy deals. It's not like giving, Jordan Henderson a new contract. He wants to stay at Clay, the captain. It's got to be easier said than done. It's Mo Salah, the best player in the world at this moment in time. You're offering him a new contract, and he wants the contract that, look, he deserves the right amount of money for him because of what he's done. But at the same time, Liverpool don't want to break themselves by giving him that deal. Personally, I think they'll come to some kind of situation where he will get a contract that will be over 300 grand a week, but it will be boosted up to 400 with bonuses. I think that's the way we do, but because apparently someone was saying, an expert was saying that Mo's contract is 300 grand a week as it is now. It's 200 grand a week on paper, but he gets 100 grand in bonuses. So I think we'll go up 100 grand and 100 grand in bonuses. I think that's the way it'll work.
Yeah, 100%, mate.
Some of your no worries, fella. Get back when you can. Hi, Kai. You're doing well, my man. I'm off now, lads. Take care. Well, thanks for coming in.
Good night, Chris.
Can we really win the quadruple? Is it a step too far? Of course we can win it.
Of course we
can win it. Mobile sign. We need that Mike Tyson clip. Sign the contract.
And the contract.
Just a few more things before we get out of here, guys. Just a few more things. Team of the season so far. Team of the season so far. Good evening, KVJ. How are you? Oh, his contract is all soon. Yeah, hopefully, man. So just before we finish up here, actually, I'll tell you what, because that can be a whole new video I'll do with you guys another day. I've got some fun things we can finish off on.
So you got a lot of space for the international break as well.
Yeah. I've got some fun things we can finish off on. Right, let's get this up. Right, so some fun things. These are some fun things, Jack, just to finish up on a bit of a laugh, not taken seriously.
Yeah.
So let me just see if I can get up a bit more for you. Hopefully you can see that. So option 1, this is a laugh. Option 1, Liverpool win the Champions League, Man City win the Premier League. Liverpool beat Man City in the Champions League final. Or you can take option 2, Liverpool win the Premier League, Man City win the Champions League, and Man City beat Liverpool in the Champions League final.
What's that? Liverpool win the Champions League, City win the Premier League, Liverpool beat Man City in the Champions League final.
Option 2's roles reversed.
Option 1.
Option 1.
I know it's a bit mad, but I think only due for the sheer fact of I think all of us know how much City want this Champions League.
Yeah,
like that's the whole point. They got bought out as a club. They strive every single season to win the Champions League, and as much as I don't like Chelsea, I was made up they won the Champions League last year, just for the sheer fact of it wasn't City's. And City is still miles behind in terms of Premier Leagues as well. They could win the next 5 Premier Leagues. They're still an irrelevant club anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Kai, no, Salah will stay. But do you think Firmino and Mane stay? Yeah, I think they'll stay. I don't think there's anywhere else for them to go, to be fair. Oh, man, we have 6 already and we pass United.
Yeah, it's an hard one, Key.
Right, this one, last one, bit of fun just to finish off, guys. Because it's international break and we're bored, rank these transfers based on how much they hurt you at the time. Alonso, Torres, Suarez, Coutinho.
I'm just going to go because my age at that time, Torres, 100%, mate. Because obviously now that the older have grown up watching football, he prepared me for the typical mantra of no player is bigger than the club. Obviously, now I've learned that, but as a kid, I was like, the one team you go to is Chelsea. Like Chelsea. But obviously, we've seen the best years. I know we won the Champions League and I know Chelsea, and it saddened me to see that. But at that time and my age, Torres, mate. Oh, Torres. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Torres was a heck of a player. Torres, Coutinho, Suarez, and Alonso. Yeah, the Alonso one always got me because Rafa wanted Gareth Barry, didn't he? Instead,
yeah, it's a bit of a mad one, that really.
Yeah, and but Suarez was massive. I mean, he was such a good player, wasn't he, Suarez?
Yeah, I'd say for me, go Torres, Suarez, Alonso, and then Coutinho. Couldn't give a bloody flying who really were about Coutinho. He could play for Everton. I couldn't really care less.
The Torres, I think the Torres one gets me the biggest because it went to our rivals.
Yeah.
Suarez,
if he went to like La Liga or something, boy, it was back when he went to Chelsea, innit? Because he used to score every single time, Chelsea.
Yeah, and Suarez went to Barcelona, so we would never really go playing that much, were we? So it didn't hurt as much as Torres. But yeah, that was just a bit of fun to finish off, guys. Right, guys, thank you for everybody for coming on the stream today. I do really appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for helping me get to 300 subs. I do appreciate it as well. Onwards and upwards. Obviously, I thank Jack, Connor, Doug, Steve, all the people I've met on YouTube so far. Great people. Appreciate all of it, guys. And Jack, thank you very much for coming on today. Obviously, Connor, thanks for coming on as well, my man. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me on, mate. And just keep on doing what you've been doing, lad. And obviously, thank you to every single one in the comments and everyone watching on the repeats. For me, Jay, Con, everyone that views all of our content, we do it because we love Liverpool and we just love talking footy, really. But yeah, thank you very much for having me on, mate. And,
no worries,
really enjoyed
it. Suarez, Torres hurt, Coutinho next. I'm a bit young for Alonso, fair enough. Suarez wanted the Arsenal move the year before. The whole Wenger thing, so I was prepared. Yeah, exactly. Jamie, get me on at some point, bro. Of course, my man, of course. I'm going to sub to Jack. Go for it. Savage reactions. Savage, anytime, my fella. Anytime. We'll do a show together. Right, guys. Thank you very much for today. Really appreciate it. I've got a video. I'm doing the England-Switzerland watch along tomorrow. Why, I don't know. But please join me for it. It's a bit of football. I miss football. I have to watch football in my life at some time. So join me for the England-Switzerland game tomorrow, guys. Thank you very much for joining today. I appreciate every single one of you. Peace out, guys. You never walk alone.